Hello and welcome, my Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation reading for February and March 2021. I'm your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle production since 1998, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hi. Hello, my Saturnian-born, my Saturnian-driven earth sign friends, Virgo that I am. Very, very happy to be serving you today in this work, career, vocation read, a 3 levels of power read that you can check out in the description box below. A wonderful video by Myss, MYSS, PhD. These are her archetype cards, first 3 cards down. The video is on the 3 levels of power, an archetypal set of lenses through which you can look at anything in your life, pretty much, give or take. We are looking at the 3 levels of power of life purpose today. Work, career, vocation. I love doing this series. It gets me out of twin flames and soulmates for a hot second, so I hope you enjoy it. They are 2 months at once because this stuff tends to develop slowly, work, career, vocation. Sometimes not so slowly, but in the past year or so, yeah, I get why the guides told me to do these. I do this for myself maybe once a month, and for clients almost all the time, right? If they're not coming for love and romance stuff, they're coming for, you know, money and work, career, and vocation stuff, and that's what I'm good at, for sure. So it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Oh, and some other business. I am now doing tarot parties on my Facebook page, the Drawing the Circle Productions Facebook page. I got monetized there. I'm doing tarot parties. 10 people. You pay before you get in. You buy a ticket. It's Zoom format. I actually got Zoom Pro so that I can do it. And we did it last night. We had a good time, and I was able to record it and send all the participants the recording from the party itself. And it is a party. So if you're interested, you don't even need to be on Facebook, interestingly enough. I don't know how they work that, but you don't even have to be on Facebook to join it. So if you are interested, there are links in the description box below. All right. Also, my first Kindle book is coming out. Words of Grace, wrote it back in 2018, shooting for the full moon in Virgo, but, you know, I hired a Kindle editor because I don't know how to do all that. So we'll see when that one hits, but it should be lovely. Everything I've seen so far is gorgeous. So how's that for work, career, vocation? I'm a busy-ass Virgo, and I live alone, but with 3 cats, so, you know. Witch in the woods, that's me. So let's get up in this gig. All the decks that I read are always in the description box. There are 9 cards hitting the table. Myss, Archetype, Daughters of the Moon, and Mythic Tarot. We're going to look at the inner and outer aspects of this for you as well. I think that's about enough, don't you think? Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will, and let's get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can from the pantheons of the divine as we now begin. My collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life path, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, for the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation, please 3 levels of power. What's going on in their work? Lower 3 chakras, survival intuition, how they survive in the world. May not be how they make money. They can make money in their career and vocation as well, or any combo of that. So please, what's the dominant archetype? The 8th chakra aspect of their work. Let's look at their career, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. Personal level of power, mental, emotional power, a little bit of spiritual in there, that crown chakra too. Their creative intuition, their passion, their hunger. What's the 8th chakra-ish point of view, the dominant archetype in their career? And for their vocation, 8th chakra. Their spiritual calling, their spiritual power, visionary intuition, the star that calls them forward, their guidance, their grace in their vocation. Now, these cards are supposed to be triggering. Myss, she's a very powerful teacher. Interesting combo you got here. One of them is my personal favorite, but we'll move on to that in a bit. The shadow attribute and the light attribute are written on the card, so don't cancel me if you don't like what it says in the shadow, because the shadow is supposed to be toxic. It's the lead. It's the stuff you don't want to look at in yourself, or if you know about it, you don't want other people to know about it, right? The stuff you keep back there and put a nice face on it. We all have shadow and light, and it's a sliding scale, right? It's where are you in this moment? Only you can know that in a general reading on YouTube. If you're sitting across from me or on a video call, by the way, now I can do tarot parties on Zoom. If you've got a bunch of people you want to party, if you want a private reading, we can do it that way too. Do it all the time. That's why I'm not cranking out as many videos, because I'm getting booked and I kind of dig it. Yeah, so here's the alchemy. In your work, you've got the hedonist archetype, and this is my personal favorite. I have this lifelong. You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I was born a hedonist. It's just how it is. And in the shadow, it can be pretty freaking toxic, like any archetype can. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health. Yeah, I lived through the 80s. I'm 52 years old. Thank God my skin doesn't show it. Indulges at the expense of others. I sure as hell did way back when, but you grow and evolve. That's a thing about a lifelong archetype. It's you get a longer time, right? You can heal that stuff relatively early on, particularly when karma bites you in the root chakra, so to speak. The light attribute inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. Now, if you can get your way up into that light attribute, right? Appreciation, right? And inspiring creative energy to embrace the good things in life. Like, that's a good salesman, right? If you can do that, like if you can feel that for yourself, because if you believe it, they'll believe it, right? Particularly when you're being honest with yourself. I love the hedonist archetype, as I said. I mean, its shadow is completely fatal, if you know what I'm saying, in all sorts of different ways, not just literal. But that beauty of life, right? That enjoyment of life, that you know, eat the peach. You know what I mean? It's very Dionysian. I'm a Dionysus archetype predominantly, right? In my archetypal schematas and all of that. But I'm kind of loving that for you because you're an earth sign. So that can be not just the appreciation of art, but almost an unbridled, you know what? Like, oh, so good, so earthy. I love it. So, you know, a lot of people don't make their money in their work. They make it in the career. I do. I say this pretty much every time. I'm a corporate president. That's not how I make my money. That's all the scheduling and the meetings and all that stuff. I don't get paid for that. I get paid, well, we'll get to that in a minute. I get paid for being a reader and a teacher and an artist, really, all of this put together. So that's how I make my money. So you might be having the opportunity to really sort of embrace what's already around you that's really good and beautiful, to inspire creative energy. It is a wild card family archetype, so you never know what you're going to get. In your career, you have one of the 4 survival family archetypes. There are only 4. Everybody has these 4. The child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute, because it's how we learn how to survive, and they are all lifelong, right? Because you're born a child. Everybody was born a child. But here you got the prostitute archetype. It has very little to do with selling your body for sex. It has more to do with how you negotiate, right? Your faith, right? Do you have faith or do you negotiate it away? The shadow attribute places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. And I could see this somebody totally giving up on their career, something that really feeds them in order to do something that, well, is more stable. You feel that, right? It's so Capricorn, right? And that's the thing. I feel like if you were to get work of that nature, you'd probably really enjoy yourself doing it if it was something that you kind of could enjoy. Like sticking me in a bookstore. That was a smart move. God's guided me to bookstores over and over and over again, right? I am a reader in lots of different ways, as well as I am a writer in lots of different ways. So I really enjoyed that. I love working in books, and I'm clairvoyant. People would walk in looking for one book. They'd walk out with the book that I showed them, right? I was like, no, this is the one you need. And I was always right on. Salesmanship. So that's what I mean. It's like, even if this is a temporary, look, the light attribute here accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit, your passion, the calling of your soul. Well, look, because what you actually have in the 8th chakra aspect is going to really help you with this. But that thing of it's like, you think I got potential? Laura Sanchicomo, pretty woman, right? You think I got potential, right? The prostitute archetype. It's like she was able to see in her friend Kit DeLuca, because she has an angel's gap like me. Why wouldn't I remember her? The pretty woman, you know, sees within her potential and teaches her to give up the hooker life. call it what it is, and follow her dreams, right? To have faith in herself. The prostitute archetype, everybody has it. It's the guardian of faith versus comfort. And it's not often comfortable in a career move, in a career at all, maybe a lifelong thing for you. It is a survival archetype. Survival archetypes are lifelong regardless. So it's always an ongoing thing. Like, I'm tested with the prostitute archetype. I won't say daily, but I know I could just crank out 100 videos a day on YouTube. I'm monetized. I could do that, but they wouldn't be the same quality. And my spiritual practice has to back this up. This is my sacred art. It just is. It just is. I mean, yes, I'm more of a teacher, but I've been reading tarot since I'm 12. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't compromise on that. If I can't put out high quality, and if I'm not inspired, if I'm not tuned in, tapped in, turned on to an extent, sometimes once the card's at the table, I'm off and running, then I don't do it, right? I won't compromise the power of my spirit. It's a pretty good example. Now look, in your 8th chakra, you've got the engineer archetype. Now, this is a creative family archetype, but it's not what you think, right? The engineer isn't just about nuts and bolts and moving parts, right? Too literal. Catch this. In the shadow attribute, reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. I feel like if you prostitute yourself in your career, you will get work, right? To bring in the money, put food on the table, and I understand that. But there's a way of working it where you don't prostitute yourself and say, okay, this is where the divine is sending me. I'm going to embrace this, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to inspire, create my own creative energy and the energy of others there, embracing the good things in life. Like, look, I got a job. Like, maybe it's from home, maybe it's out in the world, who knows? But and therefore you're taking your emotions into consideration, right? Without regard for emotional consequences. So that's not saying to your career, hey, we're done. It's like saying, no, maybe we'll learn something there, which is here in the light attribute, ability to give creative energy a practical expression. And here's the creative energy. This might lead you to practical expression. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And how much of it is a common dilemma where somebody has to choose between putting food on the table, paying the bills, what have you, the survival aspect, by giving up on their dream. See, but that's the thing. I don't think you need to do that. I think that you can see this as an adjunct. In other words, you have a strategy saying, all right, if this is where the divine, because this is spiritual power, once again, these readings this time around, it seems like the leverage is always in the 8th chakra, at least this series. It hasn't always been that way. It is saying that the strategy that you need is up here, not down here, if that makes sense. All right, that's the archetypal part of it, the 8th chakra of your work, career, vocation. Let's work our way down. Heart, throat, third eye, and crown. What's your mental, emotional, psychological experience of this, your interior experience of this, which I think is way more important. But yes, we will use the mythic tarot to get the lower 3 chakras, root, sacrum, solar plexus, for what's your physical experience of this, or how this appears from the outside looking in, or something like that. Breathe. This is a good read. This is a good read, guys. Here we go. My goddesses of Earth and the sign of Capricorn, please. 3 cards in clarity. Let's clarify this for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. We got the Hedonist going on there in their work. What is clarifying that? Face down, their internal experience, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and their career, the heart, throat, third eye, crown level. What's going on there with that prostitute archetype in their career? No, not all of those. I'm going to say no to all of those. But I get it. I get it. This might be a bit of a shocker coming in, or lots of options. In their 8th chakra, the engineer archetype, in their vocation, please clarify that, what their experience of that is. Heart, throat, third eye, and crown. 1, 2, 3. I think wait till we get there. That's going to be worth it. But yeah, this might be a little bit of, I don't know, a shock, but a surprise. In the Hedonist, right, with the Hedonist in your work, you've got Virgo. Just go and serve and have fun doing it. It's temporary, mutable earth. It'll change. It'll change, it'll change, it'll change. Like, that's really the internal here. If you can be like, all right, if I'm going to serve, I'm going to enjoy the crap out of this, right? Like, all right, I'm going to give you a piece of advice that somebody gave me in my life when I was working in retail back at my first real retail job was at the Bombay Company, if that even still exists, in Copley Plaza, Boston, 1987, 88, right. Remember, Mark, in retail, thank you means fuck you. I have to tell you, I enjoyed my work. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for shopping the Bombay Company. No, thank you. Thank you. Right? You know what I mean? Like, you could, like, this feels like this could be very enjoyable, but you got to get it. It's like, this is serving me. This is serving them. You could dedicate yourself to this in a fun way. You know, I got it before, DrawingTheCircle production started in 1998. Within 6 months, I went bankrupt because I dealt with a crazy author who promised everything and delivered bupkis. It was really bad. I had some help for some friends, but I ended up getting a job at Garden Botanica for the holidays, right? Holiday help, and I'm good with that. I'm good with facials and hair stuff, and they had an aromatherapy bar, which is like, I'm a potion witch. They kept me for a year and a half to 2 years, right? I actually built my clientele with clients because I would read people that I met at work, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm still friends with those people so many years later through Facebook, right? So it's like, if you can find, like, I can enjoy this, like, I don't have to see this as sacrificing my career, because honestly, in your career with this prostitute, you got the 6 of Cups. That's wonderful. That is being compassionate. The word written on the card is compassion. That's saying, you know what? I don't have to, this doesn't have to be an either or, it can be a both and. I don't have to sacrifice, but I'm telling you that your ability to be compassionate with yourself right now is totally going to make whatever you're doing in the world so much easier, right? Because look, I hope, I am in customer service. I guess that it's a different kind of customer service. I'll hopefully never work retail again. I mean, I did my time. I'm 52. I shouldn't have to fold a fucking sweater again unless it's my own or somebody who's left it behind. Sometimes they do. But that 6 of Cups, that give and take, the more compassionate you are with yourself through this, the more you're going to get. It's like, these people ain't mad at me. They're just mad. Because everybody is, right? They're just having a bad day. They're just in pain, right? It's like everybody's going through the crucible right now. Planet Earth, Planet Crucible. Sounds like Planet Fitness, but hotter. Melt me down, baby. I love this for you. That 6 of Cups inside. And yes, maybe there is even a touch of nostalgia of what your plans were and all of that, but I don't feel like you have to, like, negotiate away your heart's desire here, your passion, particularly with this engineer archetype. You've got the card of celebration. In this deck, celebration is the card of judgment, a revelation, and a final judgment, and it's 8th chakra. Yet, once again, the power, the leverage seems to be in the 8th chakra. I wonder if that's just global right now, or just the people who watch my channel. Let's not be too grandiose there. But I love this card. It's women, like, circle dancing around a central point in the woods, but then you look again, they're dancing on the belly of the goddess, the Earth Mother. Look, see there, the breastises and the pubic mound in the back, and they're dancing on her navel. So something is revealed that then goes, oh, and I believe will give you the creative energy, practical expression, the inspiration from that 8th chakra. It's going to come down. So be very compassionate with yourself. And is going to give you some inspiration for designing resolutions to a common dilemma. Like, do I have to choose between work and career? No. Your vocation is saying there's a way to bring this all into alignment. That's really cool. Let's see what this looks like on the outside. Yay! I love when my Capricorns get good ratings. I mean, you're ruling planet Saturn. That's not easy. And it's still retrograde, or wasn't it, or whatever. Last year was such a fucking astrological clusterfuck. Wow, I'm F-wording a lot for you today. I hope you're enjoying it. Breathe. By now, if you're still watching this, you're like, no, makes sense. Let's go. Mythic Tarot, the root chakra of your work, career, and vocation. We got an ice storm coming to the East Coast. I know it's making its way across the country, so I'm keeping my eye on the winds outside. Breathe. Yeah, my gods of Earth and the sign of Capricorn. What does this look like in the physical world for my Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, and vocation? February and March 2020, please. It's the second time that's happened. They've got the hedonist in their work, right? The physical power, survival, intuition, and they got the Virgo there. Now that also means that there might be running into somebody that affects them, that really activates within them something that is very Virgo. Now Virgo's ruled by the intestines, lower 3 chakras, but this is heart, throat, third eye, crown. So this could be an interaction with somebody where it really brings out in them their desire to serve, their health, their occupation. So what does that look like on the outside? With that prostitute in their career, with that 6 of Cups, it just feels so lovely. What does that look like on the outside? See, once again, look, don't spill the wine, right? You can spill the tea, just don't spill the wine here. Don't get too upset about, honor your emotions in a way that's loving and compassionate. Just don't let it drive. What does this look like on the outside? Because with the engineer archetype in the crown chakra, really the card of judgment, something is revealed, revelation, maybe something that was hidden in plain sight. What's that about in the physical world? Got it. Ooh, you're going to love the... Wow. Your vocation really has your answer to it, but we'll get there. The hedonist with the Virgo on the inside. You've got the 5 of Swords on the outside. So there's a lot of mental conflict about this. There's like either a lot of conflicting information or conflicting communication. And I could see how going into that as a hedonist might be like, I don't know that I want to deal with all of that, right? Drama is the word they just gave me, but mental drama. This also could be gossip, argumentativeness. Oh, yeah, retail. Sorry, that's just my experience of that. It's like people come in there with something going on mental that they're taking out on people, right? There's some pattern going on mental, emotionally there. So, but also remember, 5s are numbers of change. So there might be a change of mind here. You might need to kind of let this storm sort of play out, so to speak. Let this 5 of Swords thing. But I could also see that as being conflicting information, opinions, guidance, right? Well, you should do this. No, you should do this. No, you should do this. No, and it's just like, you want to get to that 6, right? The 6 of Swords, that more therapeutic process, moving from choppy water to smooth. That's the wind kicking up the water. Here, you've got a major arcana card. You got the Prostitute with that 6 of Cups with the Hanged Man. The sacrifice that's being asked on the inside is not sacrificing your career. It's always a card of sacrifice, even if it's a point of view. Things are on pause in your career right now. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. That's the being compassionate with yourself, because that's the truth. You didn't do anything wrong. Your career is on pause right now, and you need to look at it differently. You do not have to sacrifice what you love. In fact, I have a feeling you can bring that through into your work in some way, but you don't see how, or there's just too much static on the line for you to receive that. Perhaps because of even physical stress. So, what's the shadow attribute? Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. Well, in retail, you can certainly indulge in a very shadow way in terms of how you treat people. That passive aggressive, apparently you get away with it if you're in a London shop. You know what I mean? That too, but it feels like mental warfare, right? It feels like there's just a lot of thoughts going on there. But you don't have to prostitute your dream. I promise you don't. I can feel it. And maybe slow and steady wins the race to get back to it. But if you have to go into the public sector after really giving your time and your energy and love and compassion to your career, you do not. You need to survive. But I'm telling you, there's something in your career that benefits you in your work. I can feel it and you may not see it yet. Because catch this. Yeah, you've got the engineer archetype, as we said, in the 8th chakra. That's really getting inspiration, guidance, and grace for to give your creativity, practical expression. Like if you're an artist that has to you can enjoy this, it's just you don't see how yet. Or if it's strategizing, right, practical solutions for everyday dilemmas. And something is being revealed to you in the inside as a result of this. Well, on the outside is the Emperor. you're in charge. Spiritually, this is Zeus. This is all the kings of the tarot into one, the Spirit King, that you're going to get to call those shots. And kind of, sort of you are, but I feel like that's the part you don't see. That's the part, it's like your spiritual power is dominant here. And like I said, I don't know that it's every reading I've done in this series so far, considering we only have 2 more left after Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, obviously. But really saying that your control, not so much control, but get that there is an immense amount of spiritual power here in your 8th chakra, right? To really try and see things from the satellites as much as you can. I know we're earth signs, not the easiest thing for us to do. That's way more Aquarian. But there is immense power here. Revelation coming in. Meditate, pray, whatever your spiritual power is, get up into the satellite. Right? Hang out in the penthouse. To me, the penthouse is the crown chakra. It's still connected. Go to the satellite, right? See things from that GPS point of view. And therefore, you seeing things differently, understanding things are on pause, that you can be very loving and compassionate with yourself. You do not have to put your dream on hold. Well, you have to put your dream on hold. You just don't need to sacrifice it. You don't need to prostitute yourself. So that whatever it is that it is that you might have to do for work now, and maybe this has been going on for a while for some of you, that, you know, get into the service of it. And yeah, there's a lot of mental drama around it, but what isn't right now, you know? What isn't right now? Things are changing very, very quickly, and this is probably just a passing storm anyway, or at least for February, March, as we can see. You might want to go back and check January, February's read to see if there is a continuing line. Otherwise, may the Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, and vocation, February and March 2021, that they may receive in their 8th chakra spiritual power, the insight, the revelation to be the emperor and come up with the engineering power, developing that for them so they can respect and acknowledge their emotional consequences in all of this, as well as come up with a practical strategy to bring their creativity into form. So there is no need to prostitute their dream, that they are able to choose faith, understanding that this will happen by being compassionate with themselves. They're going to cry when they're going to cry. They're going to miss it when they're going to miss it. They're going to forget it when they forget it. But that all in all, it's all on pause. And it's okay to sacrifice their way of looking at it and to cry when they need to cry and feel when they need to feel. Because in their world, that they may really enjoy the service of this, regardless of, even if they are the still point amongst the hurricane, that they're able to stand there in their stable, Saturnian, boundaried, healthy, grounded, hedonistic, life's great, look, we're still alive, let's do this, I love you all kind of vibe, perhaps slowly and steadily winning the race for their well-being, for the well-being of everyone they meet, and for the well-being of all of life. So would it be. And so it is. What a lovely reading. I mean, I have to say, the prostitute archetype, it shocks people, that word, but read Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss, or at least watch some of her videos on YouTube, where she's talking about the survival family archetype. Sacred Contracts, brilliant book if you can get it. Anyway, if you want more, subscribe. Did you like it? Did it make sense? Hit the thumbs up. It helps other people see my stuff. And comment if you will, and if you want a tarot party with me, the links are in the description box. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed in your work, career, vocation, February and March 2021. My caps, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.